listening today. You sent me this article that I think should have been taught a long time ago in sex education, in Sunday school, in like all over the place for young girls. Why don't you introduce it?
Well, it would have changed your whole life.
Absolutely. Would have changed many girls' lives, yes.
So, a friend of mine sent me a link to an article that's titled Women Absorb and Retain DNA from Every Man They Have Sex With.
Scary, right?
And
So
I'm
you're
like,
convinced.
Uh-oh.
Right, you're convinced. Well, you're not a woman, but I think most of us are going, uh-oh, right? Because you're convinced it's why I keep tearing up the house, right? Now I'm pretty sure that I have never dated a Navy SEAL. I certainly haven't been married to one, so it doesn't explain like why I love fighting and all this stuff. Well, at least I don't think so. But yeah, it's really an interesting concept. My ex-husband was a contractor, so he's convinced this is why I keep tearing up our house, right? But explain what this article shows.
Well, this is actually a replication of another study, which is why it really blows my mind. I mean, the first time I read this, that whoever you have sex with, for women, you actually begin to incorporate the DNA of the man into your body.
All right, so I'd like to say Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So we're going to get straight to the point. It's not going to be a long video. Let's get straight into it. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So again, Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So, as you can see, the title of this video is Women Retain the DNA of Every Man They Have Sex With. And this is why you got put to death for adultery. This is why you got put to death for adultery, right? Because it really leads to something deeper than what people understand, right? So real quick, let me grab this. This is the book of Leviticus. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 20, verse 10. And the scripture says, and the man that committeth adultery with another man's wife. Now, how a man committeth adultery with another man's wife is by having sexual intercourse with another man's wife. So a man that is married to a woman, if another man comes in and have sex with that man's woman, he have committed adultery. And a man that committeth adultery with another man's wife, even he that committeth adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. So committing adultery was a sin unto death, man. It was a sin unto death. Now, this video is a good video. Why? Because this video here, as you know, I quoted the title, it actually explains that when a woman have had multiple sex partners, when a man ejaculates in her, that semen needs to go somewhere. And what it does is it just look for different places to go within the body. So that man semen is left in her, and they quoted that I believe it was 60 to 65% of the semen that is retained in the woman. A lot of it goes straight to the brain. So this is why women have these different personalities, which they have these different spirits on them, because they have been with multiple men. So we already read the scriptures that shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. because now she have pretty much become you, so to speak. So this here is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 1. It says, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, nevertheless to avoid fornication. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So there you go. So a woman shouldn't be hopping around from different dudes to different dudes, right? Because it creates a chemical imbalance within the body, man. Right? And it's all in the scriptures, right? It's all in the scriptures, man. It's all in the scriptures. But what you have, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American women that has been with over 50 to 100 or more partners. And you wonder why these women out here, well, I'm not going to even call them women. I'm going to call them dogs. And you wonder why these dogs out here have tattoos from head to toe, shaving off the side of their head, shaking their asses all over the place, right? I mean, you know what? Real quick, and this is what I want to say. This is why the scriptures are beautiful, man. The scriptures are beautiful, man, because the scriptures tell you everything. It tells you everything, right? We didn't need this science to prove what's being brought out in the scriptures. The scriptures are already telling you these type of things. But the Most High will use these type of people to bring out more and explain more things about why, women shouldn't be hopping to man and man. So let me get to scripture again. 1 Corinthians 7 and 1. Now concerning the things thereof, ye write unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, nevertheless to avoid fornication. Let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband, man. This is Romans 7 and 1. It says, know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law have dominion over a man as long as he liveth? And that was a question. It says, for the woman which have an husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of her husband. So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from the law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man. So women cannot go unto another. A woman cannot go into another man unless her husband is dead, man. So a woman should be out. Well, again, I don't want to call you women. You're dogs, actually. You dogs shouldn't be out here hopping around on everything, man. Whether if you be offended or not, actually you are dogs, because the scripture, even the Lord called you a dog. The scripture says a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. If you are okay with the fact that you have had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on partners, then you are a dog, man. Right? You are that wandering dog, right? But committing such acts is unto death. Why? Because you retain the DNA of other men. And you wonder why you women are out here all bugged out, man. Out of your damn minds. Prideful. Again, a bunch of dogs. Tattoos from head to toe. Right? And the majority of the time, another dude that got with you and you got tattoos from head to toe, he'll end up finding out that the last dude you was with was tattooed from head to toe. So it's being a proven fact that you retain the DNA of other men that you have slept with, man. That's insane, man. Now you really see why, adultery is unto death, man. You really see why. But ultimately, man, I don't want to get too deep into all of that. But this is a good video to watch. Women retain the DNA of every man they have sex with. Um, they, a lot. Actually a couple videos out there, and there's actually an article. I went into. Matter of fact, let's get it real quick. Right. So this is pretty much the article that came out of Baltimore, but it says, does the body retain DNA from others sperm? Now here it says Seattle. Yeah, Salakia. I said Baltimore. Salakia, Seattle. It says Bind Foster reports that women retain and carry living DNA from every man with whom they have sexual intercourse. According to a new study by the University of Seattle and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center, the study which discovered the startling information by accident. So they stumbled on this information. These scientists stumbled on this information, by accident, man. They was more likely doing something and was like, hey, what is this? And find out it was a sperm cell that's traveling the body of a woman. And there was many different scenarios that they came up with on why that could have taken place. Maybe she was impregnated with a male child and didn't know she had a miscarriage, and maybe it could have been done by sexual intercourse with a different males or male, and it's different situations, different scenarios that took place with these scientists to believe that this is why these women ended up carrying DNA of other men, right? So let's keep going with this a little bit more. It says, was originally trying to determine if women who have been pregnant with a son might be more predisposed to certain neurological diseases that occur more frequently in males. The study found that women brains often harbor male microchiris Salakia. Let me say that word right. Right, so that word there is microchimerism. Now, real quick, microchimerism is defined as the presence of two genetically distinct cells, population in the same individual. It can arouse from several causes, including, oh yeah, and also what can take place is these cells. I did a little more research on it and watch a couple other videos, but these cells that are left in the woman body from other men can have an effect on the child that she can give birth with the guy that she's presently with. So if he was to have a child with her, that child, depending on the type of man she was with, can look like another man, or can shit have blue eyes or green eyes or slick back hair or whatever the hell. But the it can have an effect on the child of the man that impregnated her that she would be previously with. So it's ultimately a reason why these things are in the scriptures. It's ultimately a reason why your ass will get put to death for such things. Or in other words, the presence of male DNA that originated from another individual and are genetically distinct from the cells that make up the rest of the woman. According to the study, 63% of the women, 37 of 59 tested, harbored male microchirisms in the brain. Male microchirism was present in multiple brain regions. So there you go. So if you ever want to, you could just look up that study. Does the body retain DNA from other sperm cells? You can just Google that, and this article will pop up. And you can get more. Information from that. But mainly speaking on you brothers in this truth. That's why you have to be wise about the women that you deal with. Now people say it doesn't matter how many numbers, how many bodies she have or numbers or whatever, but it does matter. It matters greatly, man. Right? Because you got to think about it. When you're dealing with her, you're dealing with all of the other dudes she have been with. So, be wise, man. Be wise who you dealing with. But other than that, remember, the scripture says a shameless woman is counted as a dog, and a dog is a bitch. But other than that, shalom.